Good morning, everybody. Hope that you have your tea or coffee. I know I need mine today more than ever. So I've been better about remembering it every single morning. It's just one of those stretches. And I came to the conclusion the other day that this is my new normal, you know? I am an introvert. I'm a much more social introvert than I used to be. But at my core, I definitely recharge by solitude, by quiet solitude. And it's just, I don't get a lot of that these days. And I just kept hoping that it was just a short season of busyness and it would get better. But I have come to realize that this is just the way things are right now at home and at work. And my kids are getting a little bit older and they're not involved in a lot of things. We really try to keep a rein on that, like um, just funnel them to things that they really, really enjoy. They can, select one to two things, but, we don't want our schedule to get too out of hand. And Anne is young enough that she really isn't involved in anything quite yet. But all the same, it definitely changes as your kids get old. Henry wants to go visit friends here and there, and they want you to take them places because they need something for this or that. And so it's just a different kind of busyness than when you have infants, which is, also very intense. I would actually say more so. So it's just, it's different, and it's just a matter of getting used to it. Here at work, my job has changed, and don't get me wrong, I love it. I think it has changed for the better, but I just need to get used to the fact that my daily schedule is not the same as it used to be. I'm not going to have just quiet stretches out in my office. I have actually, but it doesn't feel it's uninterrupted, but it doesn't feel quiet because I've been so busy. So in my head, it's still noisy. I've been writing quite a bit and getting a lot done, which is wonderful. So I'll update you about that. And what else are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about back to school stuff and a brand new episode of Plan Not Scripted. And did I mention novena stuff? I don't remember. And if I did, it was about 20 seconds ago. So that's what we have here today in terms of my brain activity. I will give you a little bit more writing detail and crafting update. I have to have a little list here. I have pre-planned show notes, otherwise I won't remember anything. So, it's okay. It's part of the aging process. I accept it for what it is. So, I've been doing very well. I feel a little tired. I didn't sleep really well last night. I think that's part of the problem. But I had been, so, it happens. It's just part of life. You have a bad overnight. So, what's going on with me today? I mean, lots. So Christine and I have been hard at work. We just recorded a new episode of Planned Not Scripted. I believe it is our 6th episode. So 6 months. Yeah, I would say our little enterprise is going very well. We, of course, wish that we could produce something more frequently, but juggling the schedules, it's not possible right now. Maybe in the future. But because of the fact that we both have kids, it makes it really hard to sync up. That's the problem. It makes it really hard to just be free at the same time. So for now, we're sticking with the monthly model, and I think it's going very well. Just based upon some feedback that we've gotten from our late summer book club, as well as on Twitter, just about the episodes. I can tell that we've got some people that are listening. I'm really glad. So yeah, so it's going well. So we just recorded a new episode, and I will put the link in the show notes. And our topic is back to school. It's definitely a theme right now. My kids don't go back to school until September, but I know a lot of kids are going back to school right now in mid-ish August. And so it's just that's in the air, just the changing routines, the changing season, a little bit more sort of chaos on the horizon, like looming. And it's all good, but it's a little overwhelming in its own way. And so she and I talk about that at length. And if that resonates with you, hope that you'll listen in. And we had a couple of exciting announcements in that podcast in terms of things that are coming up for each of us this fall. So definitely give it a listen. Back to school being our theme. So I mentioned the late summer book club that I that we're doing, Christine and I, within Planned Not Scripted. We're reading The Summer Before the War. And we had an installment in July. We planned to just do it as part of the audio podcast, but it didn't work out that way for various reasons I won't go into again. Technical audio difficulties, which we're still somewhat experiencing, but I'm able to still get the audio podcast out every month, so I'm grateful for that for the time being. Hopefully we'll have a more permanent solution in the future. But that's for me to worry about, not you. But in terms of the book club, we ended up doing a video because audio wasn't available to us that week. And so we did a live Google Hangout and got a little bit of feedback and decided that we would stick with that for the August and September installments of the book club while we finish reading The Summer Before the War. And that's what we'd like to do. The problem is just scheduling. So we are tentatively planning this live Google Hangout. So you could join us in the chat room if you wanted. It's going to be lunchtime on the East Coast of the US. It will be like a noon, 12:30 slot. And we don't have the date finally selected quite yet. We had talked about Tuesday the 30th, and now I don't think that's going to work, or I'm not sure if it's going to work. It's going to be tough because I thought I wasn't going to be teaching that first week of class. The week of August 29th is my first week of class here at the university that I work at. And I thought I wasn't going to have to start teaching and have my crazy schedule until the second week, but that has changed. I will be teaching the first week. So I'm not sure. And Christina has some things going on that week as well, which you'll hear about in the podcast if you listen in. So we will have this is TBA. We will let you know. We're hoping for that week, though, the week of the 29th. I'll just squeeze it in there amongst my classes. Give me something to look forward to. But we want to give you a little bit of notice so that you could join us if you are able. We'll do our best. So, and if it's for some reason it doesn't happen that week, that's obviously not the best case scenario, but we all know how life is. It could happen, especially with the impending fall schedule looming. And so if we have to just push it off a little bit, we have to. I know you guys will understand, right? It's not a biggie. So we'll make that work, but it will be a video as soon as we can get that done. So that's coming up. We're looking forward to it. I am way behind in terms of reading that book. I finished the I Am Margaret series, which I reviewed yesterday, and I was really into that. So I couldn't put it down to go back to the book club book. So now I am back to the book club book, but I'm proceeding. I've read a couple of chapters, but I think I'm still on chapter 12. And I think we need to get to 24. So I got a lot of reading to do. I'm working on it. So it's good to have a little more time. So that's where we're at with that. Also, something that we mentioned on Plan Not Scripted is that we're toying with doing a monthly novena with that community where everybody is assigned a random prayer partner. So we talk about that in Plan Not Scripted. So if you want more information about how to sign up and be a part of all that, I would listen to that episode. But for September, the novena is going to be to the Archangels. Their feast is September 29th. And so the novena would begin September 20th. And we thought that would be a great one for back to school, with the kids going back to school, angels watching out for them. So if you're interested in being a part, listen to episode 6, and we'd love to have you. So I'm excited about that. We're wrapping up the St. Jane Frances de Chantal novena. And in fact, tomorrow is her feast day. August 12th is her feast day. So it's all exciting. I think it went really well. And I really, really love praying in community. And it's such a warm feeling to be praying for somebody else and to know that somebody's praying for me, and to think of all of the rest of our little group praying for each other. I love that mental image. Really boosts my spirit. So September, novena, maybe even monthly for the rest of the year. So if you're interested, please join us. Okay, so writing is the other thing that I've been busy with. It's going really well. The book project that I'm working on, I finished a draft of chapter 1. But it went well. And so I sent that off to the editor and am awaiting her feedback. Her initial, just quick at a glance feedback was very positive, but of course there's going to be work that I'll have to do to it. That's just part of the process. So I'm sure I will be getting more word back on that in the coming weeks. So for the time being, what I'm doing is I'm going to tentatively wait to hear back on that so that I know how to do the rest of the chapters, to make sure that what I have for that first chapter is what they're looking for, and then I can make my job easier for the remaining chapters. So that's where that is, but I'm really pleased that I got that done. That was one of my summer goals. The other things I've been working on, other stuff for Catholic Mom. So my August Catholic Mom piece is up. I'll put a link in the show notes. It's about God and the small things, and just the small reminders throughout our day of that make us smile. We think about God and we think about our friends, and it helps to boost our spirits during this busy fall back to school season. So that was my August piece, and what I'm doing is planning for the rest of the fall for them. I just started a document where I've got a couple of draft ideas that I would like to get drafts started for, so that when my September, October, November deadlines roll around, I will have at least something started, if not completely edited and finished, so that I have less work to do when I've got a lot of other things going on during those stretches, so my teaching and other book writing. So I'm working on that right now, just trying to make things a little easier for myself. And what else was I going to say about writing? I don't remember. But I think we could just sum it up by saying trying to stay organized and trying to stay focused. And it's not an easy thing, for somebody with a short attention span, but I think it's going okay. So hanging in there. And then in terms of fun stuff, I have been knitting. So every 2 years during the Olympics, the knitting community that I'm a part of, this is the larger knitting community that I'm a part of, it's called Ravelry. So it's just a gigantic global online site that you can join if you'd like. And it's not just for knitting, any kind of yarn craft. So there's spinners and dyers on there too, obviously crocheters and weavers and what's the other craft that it's just, I'm so scattered this morning, I tell you. I need more coffee. So yeah, anything having to do with yarn grounding can be a member of this community. And every time the Olympics are on, they have something called the Ravelinic Games. And because they have little things modeled after the Olympic events, shawl sailing and the sweater triathlon, things like that. And you can try to finish one or more projects during just the time of the Olympics. So you would cast on during the opening ceremonies. You have to be finished by the end of the closing ceremonies by whatever your goal was to do. And you can, win these little medals. And it's just a really fun community event, way of motivating yourself as well as just chatting with other people, watching the Olympics, and, can talk about that and what you're working on. So this year I am knitting a baby sweater for Sam's beautiful niece. And so that is entered in the sweater triathlon. It's I wish I had it with me. I could show you, but I don't. It's at home. And it's the pattern is a very famous knitting pattern called the Baby Surprise Jacket, designed by the renowned knitter Elizabeth Zimmerman. And it's just, you knit this big blob, but it's a very mathematically calculated blob. So, it's just so many, and then you're decreasing and increasing at different increments. And eventually you get to this middle part where you're down to 90 stitches, and you repeat that for a while. And it's a garter stitch. So that means you're just knitting, knitting, knitting. You never have to purl. It goes fast. And when you're done, you fold your blob in a very specific way and seam it, and voila, it is a baby sweater. And it's quite miraculous. And if you have striping yarn, self-striping yarn, it will stripe up in the pattern, and it's really cute. You can also use solid yarn and just add your own stripes in, but that's obviously more work. I like not having to attach new yarn. So yeah, it's a really fun pattern. I love making it for babies. And it's just because it's garter stitch, it's so if you're not as familiar with knitting, it's just like that bumpy looking stitch. And so therefore it's really stretchy. And so I've made it, technically it's supposed to be for newborns, but I see babies wearing it like up to age 2. It's just very stretchy, and I use a slightly bigger needle, knit in a bigger gauge so that the child can wear it for like a decently long time. And because it's it has buttons, so it's like a cardigan, I guess I would say. rather than a pullover sweater. So I'm really enjoying working on that in the evenings. And I also have a work in project. So that event is called Work in Project Wrestling. And it's a scarf that I've been working on since the winter. And it's really not difficult. It's a crocheted lace scarf, but it's just sat around quite a bit. So I'm aiming to finish that by the end of the Olympics. So those are my two projects, and I'm excited, working hard on them. So I'll put a link to that pattern, obviously a paid pattern, for the baby surprise jacket. But that crocheted lace scarf, I believe I've posted about that before, so I'll try to dig up that link and put it in the show notes. And that is a free pattern that I think is called the Spider Lattice Scarf, and it's really pretty, using a sport weight variegated silk yarn, and it's lovely. So we're getting there. I've been enjoying that, and obviously I've got the kids are just loving the summer, although they're getting to the point. I know Anne in particular is really looking forward to starting school. Henry's not, but he'll live. So I've been having a good time with them and hanging with Mike. He's rehearsing for another play, so he's got that going on, but I'm super excited for him. He has the leading role, my very handsome husband, and that is going to be debuting in October, mid-October, so we're excited about that. But around that, we've just been enjoying the summer TV watching and movie watching we've been doing, making lots of good cold drinks in the evening, trying not to heat the house up too much with our oven. That's always a problem in the summer. But it's been, we're enjoying it. I really prefer, aside from the 4th of July holiday, which I love, I do prefer August to July. July is weather-wise my least favorite month of the year. I enjoy the dancing festivals that we do, and I enjoy 4th of July, going to see fireworks and barbecuing with my parents, and going swimming at their house. Besides that, it's just not my favorite. I don't like heat. So I live in the right part of the country. But that's in terms of not having heat, that would be. But yeah, but it does get muggy here in July. So I do like August. It's very warm here right now. But you can just tell that the pattern is ever so slightly changing, and I enjoy that. So what's going on with you this August? I will say it's flying by, which is so scary. I love the fall. I look forward to that every year, but I don't want to rush it. Life is very precious, and I just want to savor every moment. So I wanted to slow down. What are you up to this August? Write in and let me know. And if you have ideas coming up here for the fall that you'd like to collaborate on, I'd love to hear about them in terms of novenas, in terms of books, because I haven't put much thought into what our fall book club, frankly, I don't know if I'm going to have time, but if you had like an excellent suggestion for a Life of a Catholic Librarian fall book club book, I would love to hear it. Love to hear what's going on with you this fall. And yeah, I look forward to reading those comments. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.